Police off the cuff. What am I saying? Welcome to Coffee with Cannon. I'm getting confused. I'm doing so many different shows. I didn't realize I'm at Coffee with Cannon. It's a beautiful day in me golden. It's unbelievable out here. Oh my God, I'm hearing a chainsaw though. Do I ever get any relief from these damn chainsaws? Does it happen in across the pound with these? Do you hear that damn chainsaw? Like no relief. What the hell's going on here? It's outrageously ridiculous. Kathy Bates, hello. How are you? You can hear that chainsaw? It's ridiculous. So yeah, I thought I could make it by 12 noon, but hello SSS, good to see you too. But I always get caught up on something. Ruth Ann Griffin, hello, great to see you. Liam, hello. Liam, great name, Liam. People don't realize that the name Liam is the last four letters of the word William. So most people name Liam, their real name is William, and that's my name, William Bill. But I was never called Liam. I was called Bill, or Billy, or Billy mostly. Sven de Larsen, the Dane, is in the house. Hello, Sven. That's great. We got the Swedes coming in. We got the Danish people. We got the Scandinavians. So good to see you. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Police Off the Cuff, Coffee with Cannon. Great to see you guys. So everyone's waiting on this MK 999 super chat. Thank you so much. It's so very much appreciated. Angel Garza, good morning from South Texas. Angela Ang, one of my moderators. Good to see you, Angela. Angela, when is your next show of Allegedly Guilty? Everyone's asking me, when is the next Allegedly Guilty show? And we gotta hear your next schedule. Lorna McKenzie, hello. How are you, Lorna? Great to see you. Everyone's waiting now for the verdict on the Kyle Rittenhouse case, and Joe Murray, the big attorney, Joe Murray. Joe Murray, what is your thoughts? I think the longer the jury's out, that's not necessarily a good sign for the defendant, is it? I thought a quick return would be a good sign for the defendant, but they're out now over 2 days now. Could go into a third day. It doesn't seem like there's a lot of issues. I mean, there's a lot of issues with the prosecutorial misconduct on that case also. Joe, when are you gonna weigh in, or you're busy? You're busy counseling a client. Dawn Marie, how are you? Bill Bryan's around. I didn't see him in the chat. I guess he is somewhere in the chat. So with the Kyle Rittenhouse thing, it's there's obviously two schools, and the one school that's really Joe Murray says no hard to say could be a hung jury or a compromised verdict. But Joe, if it's a compromised verdict, the judge threw out the misdemeanor gun charge. He threw it out because Kyle Rittenhouse did not, and I repeat, did not illegally possess that gun. And he also did not transport it across state lines. Apparently his father lives in Kenosha, and that's where the gun was. So if that is all true, and I guess they have verified that it is, he did not transport the gun across state lines, and a 17-year-old apparently in Wisconsin is within his rights to own an AR-14, I believe it is, as long as it was of the dimensions that this gun was. So that stuff, which was erroneously reported by all of the left-wing media, I'll say, as being in fact the law, is now turned out to be totally untrue. Oh, surprise, surprise, Look, I don't agree with what Kyle Rittenhouse did, going there with a gun, and according to him, his intentions were to help to prevent them from burning down that car dealership. But what happened to him while he was there, in my mind, was self-defense. So, one of the things that obviously you can see which side I'm on. Well, one of the things that made me somehow laugh was the one prosecutor who's been the biggest dope, the one who raised the AR-14 in the courtroom and actually had his finger on the trigger. Obviously, another gun idiot that knows nothing about guns, and there he is demonstrating the AR-14. I guess he felt that would be effective to show how scary it was. No, it's really scary in the hands of a district attorney that doesn't know anything about guns. But one of the things was he was talking about what the conduct of the guy Rosenbaum, who Rittenhouse shot to death. He was making light. Oh, all he did was kick over a porta potty, and there was no one inside it. And then he just set a fire of this other thing. Arson, setting a fire, arson is a Class B felony. So how a district attorney can make light of arson is beyond me. And then there were 2 or 3 other things he did that he just made light of. And how about this? And I don't have the statue in front of me. Yeah, Joe Murray, Andy the Gabby Cabbie shouted out to all of us. I sent you a copy of that little video. Andy the Gabby Cabbie from across the pond is really shouting out to police off the cuff, to Coffee with Cannon, to allegedly guilty, and of course to Duty Ron. And we appreciate him, and thank you so much, Andy the Gabby Cabbie. But Joe Murray, you may want to weigh in on this. Isn't the conduct that Rosenbaum was partaking in that night in Kenosha, isn't that considered riot? I don't know if there's a specific amount of people that have to partake in that for it to be riot. I think in New York State, the law is maybe 9 or more and they define what the conduct is. And surely setting fires and kicking over porta potties and assaulting people, and surely that when you do it with a group of people, surely that compromises riot. And I think that's what Mr. Rosenbaum was doing before he. There was a curfew. Lorna McKenzie. The other thing I wanted to address with this case is that it's very disturbing to me, as a former law enforcement officer, when governments choose not to defend life and property. That's what I just said. When governments choose not to defend life and property, that is very disturbing to me and very scary, because even in New York City last summer, the police were ordered to stand down. And of course, this dopey mayor who can't get out of this office fast enough, he'll deny that, but he said to them, we want a soft touch. He wouldn't allow the officers in dealing with the rioters to wear riot gear. They didn't use a lot of the overall power of the NYPD, and by that I mean there was no mounted. You saw mounted nowhere during those riots. They didn't use. There's a garbage truck. It's so noisy. They didn't use drones, and drones could have been very helpful, because how about pallets of bricks showing up in the middle of these riots, which people on the left called peaceful protests. I've never saw a single peaceful protest in my life that caused millions of dollars worth of damage. And I've never seen in peaceful protests hundreds and hundreds of cops hurt. Never have I ever seen that. So what is a certain segment of this population seeing that we, as former police officers and citizens of this great country, what aren't we seeing? How was it peaceful? I believe even that dope Chris Cuomo on CNN said, where does it say in the Constitution that demonstrations have to be peaceful? That moron has a law degree. And in the first few sentences of the Constitution, it says protests must be peaceful. And here's a guy with a law degree making $1 million a year as an anchor. He's an anchor in the truest word. An anchor holding something back. He's holding himself back with his stupidity, So where does it say in the Constitution? This guy's a graduate of Fordham Law School. Maybe he should have his degree taken away. They're being spoon-fed narratives. Yeah, I mean, when you talk about the mainstream media, let's talk truth and let's talk facts. Shannon, Georgia Peach, how are you? Ruth Ann Griffin, another jackass. Christine Knight, they were peacefully kicking people in the face and stomping in heads. It seems like, in this whole thing with Kyle Rittenhouse, is the mob supposed to influence the jury and influence the judge? How about the fact that they didn't sequester the jury? So the jury, after deliberating until 6 p.m., they then go home. They're then allowed to watch TV. They're then allowed to listen to the mainstream media. They're then allowed to hear threats, get threats in their own home. How is that make this trial fair? I just don't understand that. The lady is a tramp. That's when we need Joe Murray. Yes, yes to what, Joe? I don't know what you're answering to. How does how does it make sense to let them go home? Why weren't they sequestered? That we got there's some big questions to be asked. And what good would it be to let the jury render a verdict and then to issue a mistrial? Wouldn't it be better off to issue the mistrial now? Or what if, or if they issue a split verdict? Mudcat, there's a free press, but they are not a fair press. Absolutely, absolutely. It's just protesters influencing the jury. Joe, if you're sitting on the jury and you live in Kenosha, aren't you going to be intimidated as hell? Before you know it, the press will release the names of these jurors, which is a total no. No. Factual breakdown. Rittenhouse should be acquitted. Marie Green, top of the morning to you too, Marie Green. Joe Murray says no, better to allow a verdict first. So he's the attorney, so listen to Joe. Don't listen to me, I'm just a former homicide sergeant. I'm not an attorney. I don't have the law school credentials, but Chris Cuomo does, and look at some of the nonsense spewing forth from his mouth. So, folks, it's if the verdict is not guilty, no need for a mistrial. 100%, Joe. But when you think about what if they come back with a guilty verdict and then the judge throws it out? What's that going to do to the? And I guess you shouldn't be thinking of the riots in the streets, that what's going to happen if they don't get a guilty verdict. But wouldn't you be concerned with that? Right, of course you can't appeal a not guilty verdict. Yeah, it's sort of, I actually today I got a call again from the Donlin show on News Nation, but I couldn't make it. They called me to do an appearance. I don't know, very possible it could be the topic we're talking about right now. And in fact, this Friday night at 10 o'clock, I'm supposed to be on Ashley Banfield, but I'm not holding my breath because the news cycle is such that if something really big happens, then the panel on policing in America will be shut down, and they'll cover something else. So it's M. Ray and Dave the Dog. Good afternoon, Sergeant Bill and friends. Good afternoon, M. Ray. Peter Miller. Hello. How are you? So good to see all you guys in the chat. It is so beautiful out today. I didn't realize it was so warm. I'm not even. Usually I have a little bit of a chill, but. Guys, welcome to Coffee with Cannon. Cheers. We were talking again about the show the other night with Tom Delgado. You guys that are in the chat, did you enjoy that show? Tom Delgado is a hell of a guy. He's a funny guy, smart guy, knowledgeable guy. I mean, when he does those tours of New York City neighborhoods, I'm so enamored with them. He tells me things that I had no idea about, Alicia B., you're right. It's almost warm enough for iced coffee. Peter Miller, how are you, buddy? So yeah, Tom Delgado. We're gonna do a. Phil and I are talking about doing a show with him in Bensonhurst. Maui Swift, great to see you here today. Talking about doing a show with him in Bensonhurst on Bensonhurst, Brooklyn, on famous mob hits in Brooklyn, and. We think that could be a pretty cool episode, Hello, Lieutenant Pete. Sorry to hear that Rachel is under the weather. Give her our best wishes for a speedy recovery. Lisa Clark, I don't have coffee now, but I have generally just chowed down on donuts. I love donuts too, but donuts don't love me. Right? That's what people used to say about the police department. People used to say, you love the police department, but the police department doesn't love you back. It's unrequited love, So you may love your job, but your job does not love you, because as soon as you make one mistake, your job will squash you like an ant. That's the police department's sarcasm, but some true. OG Goat, Roy DeMeo, love you. That's great, Roy DeMeo. Cheers, everyone. And almost everyone I see that's in the chat right now, I know is subscribed to Police Off the Cuff. But if you're not, just in case you're not, please go to our YouTube, hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, give us a thumbs up, and we'd appreciate that. Growing the police off the family, growing the police off the cuff family, one brick at a time, like you build a house. So, a lot of you folks have watched the interview on Dr. Phil with Don and Candace. Nothing new, really nothing new. They were trying to reinvent the wheel, which they didn't successfully do. And Dr. Phil, was trying to interview Don and Candace and, get the truth. How many people think that Dr. Phil will actually go to Tennessee and help them try to find Candace? Does anyone actually believe that? Because I'm trying to find your daughter for you, so you should cooperate with me because I'm the best chance to find Summer. I don't believe that for a second, that he's leaving his warm chair in Los Angeles to go to Tennessee, put on his hiking boots along with his $50,000 gold watch, Yeah, Dr. Phil is totally so Hollywood. He's not leaving. He's not pucking his ass off his chair in Hollywood to go into Tennessee in the backwoods with his snakes and boa constrictors and feral pigs. No, I don't think so. He's not leaving us anywhere. And Mike Champlin, he's as useless as on the elbow. You and your gold watch. You don't like that? Oh, I'm sorry if I'm goofing on Dr. Phil's gold watch, but I just don't think when you're sitting in a studio in Hollywood with a $50,000 gold watch and you're interviewing two people that are lucky they know where their next meal's coming from, that you're believable to them, And you insist, I walk the walk. I don't only talk the talk. I can walk the walk, even though I've never walked the walk, but I always talk the talk. So enough on, I just get to do my Dr. Phil impersonation, when I talk about this case. But so really with the Summer Wells case, no real new information, whatsoever. Dr. Phil is a Hollywood hack. Georgia Peach's dying lady. Honey Rose McKay, she's laughing. Mickey V, that's awesome, Bill. When the expression that I always love is, if it walks like a duck, if it quacks like a duck, if it flies like a duck, it's a duck. And Dr. Phil's a duck. he's just he's a limousine talk show host, I don't think he ever gets his shoes dirty, So maybe we should get him on our show. I should ask Josh, our producer, give Dr. Phil a call. See if he'll come on Police Off the Cuff to talk about this. He wouldn't bend that low to come on this show. Not when he's got millions and millions of subscribers, right? I always felt, and I feel to this day, that Don and Candace know what happened. I don't care how many lie detector tests they pass. I don't care how many body language people say, they're not being deceptive. We don't think you know about this or did anything wrong to your child. However, so Dr. Phil has never been in an interrogation room in a police facility. So Dr. Phil, please stop, all right? I think that they both know what happened to Summer. And that's just my instincts, my police instincts. And I'm sorry that I disagree with this $1 million TV talk show host, but for 100% I do. And then the young reporter from News Nation, he actually interviewed Don the other night. If someone knows his name, put it on the screen. I forget his name. I always mean to write it down and I forget. He actually interviewed Don Wells Brian Enton, right. Brian Enton interviewed Don Wells the other. Again, no new information. One of the things I don't like about listening to Don Wells is that he's too smooth, which tells me he's been interviewed and interrogated hundreds of times and he knows the game. He's a criminal. He knows the game. So when he comes across, it's almost like, well, Candace really doesn't know what happened. I believe that she was taken by somebody. That's what I believe. He talks very slowly and succinctly because he's been interviewed hundreds of times and he's practiced and he knows how to lie without moving that uh, lie detector meter up and down. So I don't believe a word that guy says. And one of the things that everyone seems to ignore um, about Don and Candace is they're not really fit parents. They seem to both have alcohol and drug problems. So how is that being fit to raise children when you got, major? Did and I know this group here. Have you seen the inside of that house? Would you let any kid go into that house? I don't think so. I don't think I'd want my kids going into that house. That house looked like a dungeon. That basement that was the playroom. Oh my God! You got to be kidding me. Peter Miller, perps are very adept at deception. 100% right. You know how a way you can beat a lie detector test, and I've seen people like this in my 27 years on the NYPD, that you believe your own lies. If you believe your own lies, you're not going to show any emotion in your face or in your voice because you believe. You believe your own lies, right? So that's why I don't. And when all these Phil Grimaldi, a reporter from MSNBC, was following the jury bus from the Rittenhouse case. Did I read that right? That should be contempt of court right there. How horrendous is that? How horrendous. Talking about destroying our system of justice. And their MSNBC is a total left-wing piece of slop. And they're following the jury bus. Oh, they're banned from the court right now. They should be banned from broadcasting by the FCC. Horrendous. Terrible. It's more than terrible. They should be fined. That's horrendous. That's horrendous. It's like, even when mobsters intimidate jurors, that's horrendous. How do you get to a juror? How does the secretness of a jury, how does it get out there? Phil Grimaldi, ticketed by police. Yes, they are. Mo Beans from New Jersey, right on. OG Goat, where did you do your hour time east by your Brownsville, Bushwick? I don't know what you're talking about, OG Goat. Banned by judge. They should be banned by the FCC, the Federal Communications Commission. Jury intimidation, 100%. What a disgrace. A lot of these news stations are owned by the same parent companies. And when their political positions aren't reporting the news, but, it's really disturbing. It's really, really disturbing. Any more on the Travis Scott concert other than, there's hundreds of lawsuits right now. And that young boy, Ezra, 9 years old, was the 10th victim to die. OG Goat, I worked in Manhattan North Homicide Squad. We worked out of 13 precincts in the north of homicide, which of the north of Manhattan, that starts at 59th Street and goes all the way to the beginning of the Bronx. And our office was on 133rd Street and Broadway. We weren't a specific precinct. We were a task force of investigators that would go to all homicides and major cases, shootings. This is unbelievable. Judge named reporter and the news director that sent him to follow jury. Is that outrageous? I think there should be some criminal contempt charges against that news station. Could you imagine if Fox did that? They would be all over it. They'd be, oh my God, they're trying to circumvent the government. This is very disturbing. So with the Travis Scott concert, the only new news is that there's tons and tons of new lawsuits, and that young boy Ezra succumbed to his injuries the other day, approximately about 3 days ago now. But if you don't know the story, he was at the concert with his dad, and he was actually on his dad's shoulders. And he apparently was a huge fan of Travis Scott. And his dad was rendered unconscious because he was getting crushed and couldn't breathe. He fell to the ground, and so did young Ezra. And Ezra sustained brain injuries to his heart and his lungs, and he never recovered from the induced coma that they put him in. So he was the 10th victim that died during that Astroworld concert. Horrible. So, folks, it's what are we now? Today is what's today? The 18th, right? Today's the 18th. Very close to Thanksgiving. Have all you guys gone out and shopped for Thanksgiving? I'm waiting for a wild turkey to enter my garden. A wild turkey, and I'll go in the house and get me 9 and shoot the wild turkey. Because turkey's so expensive this year. Not kidding. I mean, I'm kidding. My wife and I are actually going out for Thanksgiving this year because it's just us two. So we're not going to cook a whole huge Thanksgiving dinner. But I haven't seen any wild turkeys. You think the wild turkeys know that Thanksgiving's coming up, and so they're making themselves scarce? Marion Carpenter, welcome to the bucket. Thank you so much for joining the Police Off the Cuff family. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Rebecca H, hello, Bill, Wisconsin in the house. Rebecca, are you subscribed? If not, hit that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, and ring that bell. Ring my bell, ring my bell. That's right. Lady Honey Rose McKay, we have wild turkeys running around. But I don't think people eat wild turkeys, right? It's probably a real gamey taste. But I see them once in a while on this road here, but I haven't seen them in a while. I think they know Thanksgiving is coming up and they're making themselves scarce, you know. OG Goat, Police Rules, M. Ray and Dave the Dog. Linda Petrovich, hello, Bill, I'm late. VG Riot, ring my bell and dip it in butter. You got to make sure you get some of that Irish butter for Thanksgiving, right? That's the best tasting butter there is. Phil Grimaldi, that's the Police Off the Cuff sub. So good to see you guys. Guys, coffee with Cannon. Cheers. Jan Bernard says that wild turkeys taste the same as store-bought turkeys. I don't know. Is that true? I don't know. I never ate a wild turkey before. Sing us Irish Eyes. You mean like when Irish eyes are smiling, all the world is bright and gay. But when Irish eyes are smiling, you can pull your heart away. No, you know what my favorite song is? My favorite Christmas song? And some of you Irish people are going to go, oh, I love that song. And I'll sing you a few bars. It's Christmas Eve, babe, in the drunk tank. An old man said to me, won't see another one. And then he sang a song, that rare old Mountain Dew. I turned my face away and dreamed about you. Got on a lucky one, came in 18 to 1. I got a feeling this year's for me and you. So happy Christmas, I love you, baby. There'll be a better time when all our dreams come true. Yeah, I love that tune too. The Pogues, that's right, the Pogues. And then the next part of the tune is pretty funny. And now when they play the next part of the tune, the radio stations, they edit it because it's politically incorrect to say the words that the Pogues used to say, the real words. So now they edit the song, or they take that part out. Yeah, the lead singer is no, it's escaping me. He's actually born on Christmas Day. Fairy Tale of New York. That's right. That's the name of the song. Great song. What's the name of the singer of that? That always seems like he's drunk. Come on, guys, you got to help me out here. You're not going to help me? I thought you. Come on, Marie Green, Shane McGowan. That's it, Shane McGowan. He always seems like he's drunk, right? I'm amazed that guy's still alive, you know? And you know what he does that's amazing, if you never heard him sing? Somehow he goes off key. But when he does it, it sounds okay. Somehow he does it. And it's amazing, you know? Shane McGowan, that's right. And his birthday is on Christmas Day, as I recall, you know? Yeah, that's what a great tune, you know? The boys of the NYPD choir were singing Galway Bay, and the bells are ringing out for Christmas Day. What a great, great tune, right? Uh, hello, Dawn Marie. Christy McCall, right, she sang the song. She did a duet with Shane McGowan. That's the famous one. If you pull it up, Phil's in the chat. He said something about Kerrygold butter that all the wild turkeys are hiding from me because they're afraid they're going to wind up in a pot with some Kerrygold butter. New York, New York. That's a good tune too. Frank Sinatra. You know, everyone that's graduated from the NYPD Police Academy, they used to have this ceremony at Madison Square Garden, and the song that would be playing as you walked into Madison Square Garden was New York, New York, sung by Frank Sinatra. So that sort of became the theme of graduating from the police academy was New York, New York, right? So start spreading the news. I'm leaving today. I want to be a part of it. New York, New York. See, I went off key. I want to wake up in a city that never sleeps. It's not an easy song to sing, and you realize how good a singer Frank Sinatra is. That's a tough song to sing. It goes up and down. You know, it's a really tough song to sing. One of my favorite Billy Joel tunes is New York State of Mind. Just an unbelievably tough song to sing. You know, it starts up, you know, it goes really high to a high pitch, and all throughout the song it does that. I'm surprised that Billy Joel can still sing it because he wrote it when he was a much younger man who had a higher voice, and now Mickey V. One day I'll bring out the guitar, not today. One day I'll bring out the guitar and I'll play a tune for you guys. Thank you, Lieutenant Pete. This is from Phil Grimaldi, from a true law enforcement legend. So everyone having a good time today at Coffee with Cannon. New York State of Mind, Georgie girl. Yeah, great, great tune. Great tune. You know what was an amazing tune that Billy Joel played after 9/11, and it was such a powerful, and I don't know specifically the name of the tune, but it's called, I seen the lights go out on Broadway. I saw the Empire State laid low. That tune. Does anyone know the name of that tune? That was like really powerful when he played that after 9/11, because it was like the things he had written in that song, he meant it to be almost like a science fiction song. And somehow, with the attacks on the World Trade Center, it somehow almost became true. So yeah, it's Miami 2017. Thank you, 672 East Galaxy. Miami 2017. Right, he wrote that as almost like a science fiction tune. And then after 9/11, he sang that at the concert for 9/11, and it was so very powerful, you know. And that was an amazing concert. You know, all the great musicians from across the world got together to help heal New York City. Lynn S. Mesa, I want to hear what Joe Murray has to say about MSNBC. Joe Murray, you still on the air? I haven't seen Joe. He may be running to represent a client right now. Joe Murray, are you on the air? Calling for Joe Murray. Calling an attorney. Calling attorney Joe Murray. Calling boxer Joe Murray. Emre and Dave the Dog. Wow, Jerry Cavalho. I'm sorry, just wanted anyone who cares know. Have a nice afternoon. Jackie Blue. There's a tune. Who wrote that song, Jackie Blue? Ooh, Jackie Blue, right? That was a one-hit wonder band, Jackie Blue, right? But factual breakdown, that was my family Thanksgiving or Christmas staple as a kid. too, so I get it. Well, guys, I'm actually just past 35 minutes. How does time go so quickly when we're all having coffee with Cannon? You know, it's just Joe Murray's on the phone. He's working. I figured he's working the phones. You know, that he's a busy guy, Joe Murray. Jackie Blue, Noah and Amber found. Dutch group, Mo Beans, New Jersey. Yeah, I can't remember who wrote Jackie Blue, but it was like a one-hit wonder band, right? Vlad Wright, we need a bigger coffee. Ozark Mountain Daredevils, was that the name of the band? That yeah, I think it rings a bell. It rings a bell. Yeah, that they wrote Jackie Blue. Sue M, time flies when you're having coffee with Cannon. Guys, I want to toast you all, you know, to life. L'chaim, as they say, you know. Coffee with Cannon. The lady is a tramp. Thank you for that compliment. The lady is a tramp. Emily King. Kermit the Frog. Time's fun when you're having flies. That's great. That's another famous song from Why Are There So Many Songs About Rainbows? And What's on the Other Side? I went off key again. I don't really know that tune enough. M. Ray and Dave the Dog. It's excellent. Now I'm going outside in the garden with Dave. Angela Eng, somebody has to work. Michelle P. So good to see all you guys with the green font, which means you're members of the Police Off the Cuff and the Coffee with Cannon family. So, Marie Green, great to see you here every day. Guys, thank you so much for supporting Police Off the Cuff. You know, man, this year we're close to it being sayonara to 2021. I never like to count time away, but wow, we're deep into November. Then December is just going to fly by, and then we're in 2022. Unbelievable, right? Unbelievable, 2022. Remember Y2K? Remember that fiasco? And it actually never happened. Everyone thought like the world was going to end, you know. That's right, Lieutenant Pete. Three beans in a Sambuca snifter. No other way you do it, right? Phil Grimaldi, holidays coming quick. Linda Cosmo, laugh out loud. Yeah, 2000. To life, L'chaim. L'chaim, to life. It gives you something to think about, something to drink about. L'chaim, to life. All right, guys, I think I'm coming up on 38 minutes. Great for you to do Coffee with Cannon. Thank you guys for being with me on this beautiful November day. Until we meet again, God bless, and everyone stay safe. Have a great afternoon.